Fedora Asahi Linux is an excellent alternative Linux operating system for M1 or M2 Macs, providing a fully integrated Linux distribution for Apple Silicon Macs. Fedora Asahi Linux is based on Fedora 39, which supports M1, M2 MacBooks, Mac Mini, Mac Studio, and iMac. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the step-by-step installation process of Fedora Asahi Linux on M1 or M2 Macs. Make sure to watch the entire video till to the end. For demonstration, I will be using my base M1 MacBook Air, and the process is the same for any compatible Apple Silicon Mac. Now keep in mind that before installing Fedora Asahi Linux, check out their website for additional information. To install Fedora Asahi on M1 or M2 Mac as a dual boot, reserve at least 30 GB of free space or higher and ensure your Mac is running on Mac OS 13.5 or higher. Then open a terminal and enter this command to view the drive information. Take a screenshot of the internal disk that is needed for later reference. Now go ahead and remember your Mac OS username. In my case, it's M1 Mac. Then open a browser and visit the official Fedora Asahi Linux website. Then copy a specified line of code and paste it into the terminal. Now make sure your Mac is connected to faster internet to download Fedora Asahi Linux. And as you can see the version of the installer and prompting you to enter the sudo password. Now type R to resize the Mac OS partition. You can shrink the free space from your existing partition by entering the size in %. Now in my case, my Mac has a free space of 180 GB. Now out of that, I'm going to allocate and type 70% for Mac OS and 30% of free space will be allocated for Asahi Linux. Now another best way to shrink the free space is to type min for the minimum required space for Asahi. Now as you can see, the installer has allocated 75 GB of free space. Type Y to continue. Now go ahead and press the Enter key to continue. Now as you can see, this is the allocated free space. Then type F to install Asahi Fedora into that free space. Now the installer gives you options to choose the desktop. If you're installing it on a MacBook, choose GNOME Desktop. For iMac, choose KDE Plasma. You can also install minimal and server editions. Anyway, I'm going to choose option 2 to install the full version of Asahi Fedora with the GNOME Desktop. Then confirm the installer to use the free space that we allocated by typing max. Name the Fedora Asahi Linux and press the Enter key to start the installation. Now this process will take around 15 to 30 minutes, so sit back, relax, and grab some drinks. Now as you can see, the installation is complete and we are done with the first step. You can find more instructions for step number 2 to complete the installation of Fedora Asahi Remix. Now read these instructions and follow them carefully. Now press the Enter key to shut down your Mac. Now wait for at least 30 seconds. Then press and hold the power button until you see a message saying loading startup options. Now this will take you to the One True Boot, which shows all the bootable volumes that have an operating system. Using the arrow keys or mouse cursor, select Fedora Linux and press the Enter key to boot into Mac OS recovery. Go ahead and choose the username and enter the password you use to log in into Mac OS. Now press Enter to continue. Type the password and set the system into permissive mode. Now authorize the installer by typing the username and password of the Mac OS administrator to change the boot policies. And voila, you can see the installation is complete and press the Enter key to reboot. Now this will boot your Mac into Fedora Asahi, which is running on bare metal. Now go ahead and set up the Fedora Asahi Remix for the first time by creating the user account. Then open the terminal and type this command to update Fedora Asahi. Then reboot your Mac. Now speaking about the performance, I just want to say in one word, Fedora Asahi Remix with GNOME Desktop on Apple Silicon is next level. The performance is top notch. Now check out my review on Fedora Asahi Remix for more information. Now to switch between Mac OS and Fedora Asahi Remix, first shut down your Mac. Once it completely goes black, press and hold the power button until you see a message saying loading startup options. Just remember, when the Mac is turned off, holding the power button for 10 seconds will take you to the One True Boot menu where you can see both macOS and Fedora Asahi entries. You can choose Macintosh HD to boot into macOS. This is a perfect dual boot setup on Apple Silicon Macs with Fedora Asahi Remix and macOS. When you are inside Mac OS, Open the Startup Disk Manager and change the boot order. You can choose Mac OS to boot automatically whenever you reboot the system from any OS. Now, as a bonus part of this video, if in case you decide to delete Fedora Asahi Remix from the do boot, just boot back to Mac OS. Then open the terminal and type distkutil space list. If you notice, under the internal drive, partitions 4, 5, 6 are the main volumes of Fedora Asahi Remix. Now, out of 3, look for the Asahi EFI partition. In my case, disk 0S4 is the identifier of the Asahi EFI partition. Now, in your case, it may be different. Just note down the identifier and erase the partition. To do so, type this command and provide a valid partition identifier. Then press the Enter key to erase this volume. Then head over to Disk Utility. From the menu bar, choose View and select Show All Devices. Then from the sidebar, choose Apple SSD and click on the partition. Do not touch the Macintosh and the first and last partitions. Now these are the partitions related to Asahi. Delete them one by one. Once it's deleted, the free space will be added back to the Mac OS. Now if you reboot your system, it will boot back to Mac OS. That's pretty much it. This is how you properly install Fedora Asahi Remix on M1 or M2 Macs natively. Check the description for more information. Thanks for watching this video. This is KSK Ryle. I will see you in the next one.